Hey, students! Struggling to focus, manage time, or remember what you study? You're not alone. But guess what? This video is about to change your study game forever. Whether you're prepping for finals, tackling a new subject, or just want to study smarter, we've got you covered. From beating procrastination to acing exams, these 101 actionable tips will boost your productivity, focus, and confidence. Ready to unlock your full potential? Let's dive in. Your plus journey starts now. Number 1. Draw up a timetable for revision. Prior to your big exams, draw up a plan for revision spread over 2 or more weeks. The earlier you prepare for the test, the easier it will be to ask for help for parts that are unclear to you. Number 2. Select an ideal study place. Whether it's the library or your room, your study area should have all the materials and references you expect to need during study time, and none of the distractions that could slow you down. Number 3. Choose a comfortable study environment. Use a wide and uncluttered desk when doing schoolwork. Make sure your chair is comfortable and that the temperature is just right. The lighting should be adequate as well. Number 4. Decide which revision method works best for you. If you can understand lessons better in outline form, then convert your notes into this format days before the exam. If you can remember things better with the aid of mnemonics, then use them whenever you can. Number 5. When preparing for a test, think positive. If a particular topic bores you, think of a reward that you'll treat yourself to if you reach a target grade for the exam. This will help motivate you into looking at the subject matter in a different light. Number 6. Study for understanding and ask about what you don't understand. After dividing the material to be studied in several chunks, move on to the next only when you have a clear understanding of each one. Otherwise, ask your teacher for clarification the next day. Number 7. Use old exam papers to practice on. Be resourceful and ask more senior students for old test papers. The professor won't likely ask the same questions, but they can be useful to practice with. 8. Make use of colors during revision. Highlighter pens can be effective in bringing out the salient points of a topic. You can even use them on your notes. If necessary, make use of various colors to help you visually remember categories. 9. Always come to an exam room early. When you're at the exam venue about 10 minutes prior to the start of an exam, you will have enough time to relax and assemble everything you need: pencils, an eraser, and water or candy if allowed. 10. Scan the test before starting. This simple act can save you from committing grave errors or underestimating the time allotted. It only takes a few seconds, but scanning can give you a bird's eye view of the task and help plan your time. 11. Double check your answers on an exam. Always devote about 15 minutes per set for reviewing your answers. And to make sure nothing has been missed, allot some 5 minutes for array reading and 10 minutes for providing new answers. 12. Don't sit too close to others during an exam. Not only will the proctor be less suspicious of you, you will also avoid being distracted by your seatmates fidgeting or furious writing. When added up, minutes wasted on being interrupted can cost you. 13. Plan an exam essay intelligently. Do not attack the essay without coming up with an outline first. Not having one will result in scattered thoughts, rambling, and repetitive ideas throughout the essay. 14. Never take open book exams for granted. These types of exams test your comprehension of the subject matter. When you fail to prepare for it and only read about the subject during the test, you'll be wasting time that should be spent tackling the questions. 15. Use index cards for open book exams. When there are too many references that can be used during a test, you tend to waste a lot of time searching. Use index cards for formulae and other important data to save time. 16. Search for clues in short answer tests. Questions can carry a few clues, such as first or third person, plural or singular, etc. If you forget an answer, write a closely related word instead. You might be given credit. 17. Always read directions. No matter how familiar, this is often done by individuals rushing in too quickly during exams. Teachers may occasionally introduce variations to familiar formats just to catch those who habitually skip this crucial text. 18. Make a quick mind dump of what you have studied. If allowed, immediately write the things you have memorized on a sheet of paper as soon as the exam starts. This way, you'll clear your mind of some clutter and become more relaxed. 19. Tackle the easy questions first on an exam. This is a time-worn rule that's always broken. Too often, students waste time on a single difficult question that could have been spent answering about 5 or more easier questions. 20. Plan your time answering essay questions. If there are 5 questions, spread your time over all 5. It's better to get 5 mediocre grades than 2 excellent ratings and 0 points for those you weren't able to answer due to lack of time. 21. Try not to hand your exam in too early. Teachers hardly award points for students submitting their answer sheets early. You could make use of the extra time reviewing computations and spot checking your answers. 22. When cramming for an exam, choose topics wisely. Don't bother to review topics that have not been taken up in class. They are not likely to be included in the exam. Try to focus on the topics which the teacher discussed over and over. 23. Prepare for an exam with a buddy. Ask your friend to ask you tough questions that are likely to be asked during the exam. To ensure that you have mastery of the subject matter, spend time only with one who is also serious about his studies. 24. Know the items a test would likely cover. If the teacher has written down dates, names, and other terms on the board, they are likely to be asked in the exam. The same is true for topics that were assigned as homework. 25. If you can't come up with an answer to a problem, compute for it anyway. Most teachers give credit for effort, and won't hesitate to do so if they see that you've at least tried solving the problem. A blank sheet, on the other hand, has 0 chances of getting any credit. 26. Do a post-test mind dump. After the grueling exams, write everything you remember about the test on paper. Try to find the answers to items which stumped you. Only then will you be able to fully relax after the exam. 27. Don't compare answers with others after an exam. Comparing answers would only give rise to negative feelings and will keep you from unwinding after an especially strenuous exam. It's better to find out the answers on your own or wait for the test results. 28. Perform a self-examination after every test you take. Ask yourself these questions. Which parts ate up most of my time? Where did most of the questions come from? Was I anxious during the exam? If so, why? What should I do differently next time? 29. Keep a journal for tackling exams. Assess the revision methods you used after getting your exam results. If you didn't fare as well as you expected, make the necessary changes, study much earlier next time, or study with a group. 30. Reward yourself after an exam for which you studied well. Treat yourself for giving it your best shot. Watch a movie with friends or eat out with your favorite brother or sister. Small rewards motivate you to always try your best in whatever you do. 31. When reviewing for an exam at the last minute, plan your time wisely. Prepare an outline of the material you need to review and allocate a fixed amount of time for each topic. Resist the urge to become distracted by incoming text messages, emails, or phone calls. 32. Go beyond mere memorization. Committing data to memory is not enough. Recite the material, draw a mind map on the topic, create a poster, or ask peers to ask you comprehension questions about the topic. 33. Avoid negative vibes the day before crucial exams. Don't talk on the phone with classmates who haven't studied. They will only pull you down or create negative attitudes about not needing to study. Focus on your own preparation. 34. Don't stay up late the night before an exam. It's true that cramming can work to the advantage of some types of people, but whittling your sleeping hours to less than 8 or 7 will wreak havoc on you physically and mentally during the test. 35. Have a good meal before taking your exams. Never take a test on an empty stomach, but don't overdo it either and risk having an upset stomach. Avoid too much sugar or caffeine as this will contribute to greater anxiety. 36. Find the right emotional and mental state prior to taking a test. A little anxiety is good for you as it sharpens your skills and keeps you alert. Panicking too much, though, can be debilitating. Take deep breaths prior to starting the exam to help you relax. 37. Aim for a good first impression with the teacher. Only a handful will be remembered by the professor the first few meetings, so it's advisable to make a good first impression. Show him or her that you're eager to be in the class and always come prepared. 38. Avoid being late for class more than once. Being late once is excusable. You might not have known where the class is held, or you were held up by something really important. However, habitual tardiness only shows your disinterest in class. 39. Choose the best seat in the classroom. If possible, sitting in the front row may make you look eager but can strain your neck. Sitting at the sides can give you a bad angle of vision. Rear of the class is for deserters and latecomers. Middle center is best. 40. Always prepare for every class. Syllabi are distributed at the beginning of the semester to serve as study guides. Read on the scheduled topics so you can participate in class and ask for clarifications about difficult topics. 41. Get the lowdown on your teacher from former students, not the private details, mind you, but his or her likes, dislikes, preferred teaching methods, and expectations. You'll fare much better in class if you have a good grasp of what the teacher wants out of a student. 42. Always forward fresh ideas in class. Any teacher would love a student who is proactive in suggesting activities to benefit himself and the class as a whole. Offer to tutor your peers if you have the capacity to do so. 43. Get involved in extracurricular activities. Although academics should always be given priority, membership in professional organizations, social clubs, or sports teams is also important in helping you become a well-rounded individual. 44. Use a planner to balance your academic affairs and extracurricular activities. You can estimate the amount of time you would need to devote to these concerns. Include study time, seminars, lectures, meetings, and deadlines in your planner, and prioritize the tasks. 45. Classify work to do according to their importance. If needed, construct a table with cells for the important, not important, urgent, and not so urgent tasks at hand. When pressed for time, always attend to the urgent and important matters first. 46. Stay fit when studying for long periods. If you plan on spending long hours finishing a paper or cramming for a test, don't forget to drink lots of fluids. Prepare a sandwich or anything you can eat at your workplace if you can't sit at the dinner table. 47. Schedule regular study breaks. Don't push yourself too hard and work continuously without rest. Instead, take scheduled breaks, say, every 40 or 60 minutes. Without them, your brain would need greater time to recuperate. 48. Read about the last topic discussed. Before attending class, brush up on the lessons during the previous session. This will rejuvenate your memory and get you ready for the next topic. You can also prepare questions on items that were not clear to you. 49. Always read about a lesson in advance. This gives you an edge in class participation and a chance to impress your teacher. If he or she sees that you are interested enough to want to study in advance, that's brownie points for you. 50. Keep up after absences. If you must be absent from a class, ask for assistance from the teacher aide or borrow your classmates' notes. Request for makeup tests if you've missed any. Your teacher will appreciate the effort. 51. Make it a point to ask a question at the end of every session. Not only will this show that you are eager to learn more and are interested in the subject matter, it will also force you to listen during lectures so you can ask an intelligent question later on. 52. Stay in the room even if the teacher goes beyond the allotted time. First, it's rude to up and leave while the teacher is still talking. Second, they usually extend their time because what they're about to say is important, and you wouldn't want to miss that. 53. Review the day's lecture immediately. Whenever possible, spend about 5 minutes after the class organizing your notes. If homework had been assigned, Do it that same day or night while the concepts that have just been taught are still fresh. 54. Manage your study time well. Create a schedule where, instead of studying for hours on end and resting afterwards, you'll be studying in blocks of 20 minutes with 3-minute breaks in between. Our minds need rest from time to time. 55. Write difficult lessons in your own words. To assess your comprehension, summarize a topic in your own words, explain its most salient points, how these relate to material learned previously, and why you think it is important to learn about it. 56. Listen to music to enhance learning and not distract you from it. Different people have different learning styles. Some say they can absorb material better while listening to music, while others say they need to be in a very quiet room. Find your style and practice that. 57. Always use alternative sources of material to develop your comprehension. It's not enough that you listen to the lecture. In history, for instance, review your notes with a map in front of you so you can visualize the events in your mind. 58. Go beyond your textbook. After studying a particular topic, look for other textbooks dealing with the same subject matter and answer the questions at the end of the unit. This way, you'll encounter various angles of that topic. 59. Use Relia whenever possible. Some people learn better when they make use of Relia or 3D models. A 3D model of a human heart, for instance, can reveal a lot more than a book illustration could. Find out where you can borrow these tools. 60. Avoid distractions during class. Turn off your mobile phone or put it on silent mode. Don't sit near the doorway or next to a picture window. Don't sit next to a fidgety student. Observe what other factors may distract you and always avoid them. 61. Use marginal notes to your advantage. If you are using your own textbook, searable marginal notes when needed. These are useful for emphasizing important notes, marking points that need to be clarified, or expounding on certain topics. 62. Determine the big picture of any lesson. Always relate a lesson to a larger picture to help you discover how it relates to past lessons and to enhance your understanding of the subject matter. If this is vague, ask your teacher for the answer. 63. Know about the grading system being used. Teachers often give the formula at the beginning of the semester, but you can always ask for a more detailed list. Know what weight the teacher gives to quizzes, class participation, projects, papers, and exams. 64. Enhance your memory by organizing your notes. It's better to memorize stuff when these are classified into clear-cut categories. You can even classify abstract ideas into meaningful groupings. Rewrite legible notes and make them more neat and orderly. 65. When making a presentation, always do a run-through. Don't assume that everything will be perfect after you have finished making your PowerPoint slides. Ask friends to listen and ask questions while you simulate your actual presentation. 66. When making reports, always include trends and developments. Whatever your topic may be, you'll get plus points if the teacher sees that you have gone out of your way to research on the latest issues related to your subject matter. This emphasizes your topic's relevance. 67. Involve yourself in small study groups rather than large ones. The more isn't always the merrier. The larger a group is, the greater their tendency to depend on others. A moderately sized group allows for a more fruitful exchange of ideas and eliminates the apathetic. 68. Make commitments when working in groups. Never assume that a group member will pitch in if needed. Put everything in writing when asking a member to commit to a task. Always set submission deadlines. 69. Define roles for group assignments. Instead of asking everyone to read all the covered topics thoroughly, assign topics that each one should master while browsing through the other topics to get an overview. 70. Determine your most ideal time for study. Some people's brains work best early in the morning. Others are night owls who are more productive. Once you find out the time most conducive to you, work your study schedule around that time. 71. Set realistic study goals. Let's face it, it's humanly impossible to study 10 chapters in one night. Always set goals that are attainable so you'll enter the exam room with a sense of fulfillment, no matter how small. 72. Work on a large project a little bit each day to keep work from piling up as the deadline for a project nears. Make it a point to work on it a little every day. There will be less pressure on yourself as the day of submission approaches. 73. Post a diagram of relaxation exercises next to your study area. It is important to occasionally stop what you're doing and perform stretching exercises. This will flex the tense muscles from your neck down to your feet and will give you renewed vigor to continue studying. 74. When stumped, always ask for help. This is one time when emailing or phoning a friend is allowed while studying. Instead of wasting hours trying to understand something, ask a friend who might be able to trigger that light bulb in your head. 75. Don't allow a single failure to eat you up. Let's say you failed big time in an exam. Instead of brooding over it, explain to your teacher the possible reasons you didn't perform well, and ask if there are any projects you can do to make up for it. 76. Reward yourself in proportion to your achievements. You can reward yourself with a dream trip after passing a particularly tough course, but even small achievements, such as topping a quiz, deserves a small treat, such as a night at the movies with a friend. 77. When studying, always begin with the more difficult subjects. This will motivate you to move on to finish all the subjects you need to study for that day, knowing that you have already hurdled the most difficult. The rest, as they say, will be easy as pie. 78. Emphasize accomplishments and downplay failures. Create a table where you will list down all your accomplishments and the rewards, both material and non-material, you have received for them. This will motivate you to always top your last achievements. 79. Build your confidence. Observe the most popular and well-loved students in school. They not only perform academically, they're heavily involved in various school activities as well. This helps them build confidence and responsibility. 80. Associate with students who will pull you up. This may sound a bit harsh, but it's reality. If you associate with students who constantly depend on you for help, chances are you'll soon get pulled down with them. Spend time with the winners for a change. 81. Find a counselor you can trust to help you with stressors. Personal problems can take a toll on your studies. Rather than trying to handle all these by yourself, find someone with whom you can discuss your concerns. This may be a counselor, teacher, or a friend. 82. Keep a stress journal within easy reach. On it, write down your thoughts or just anything you need to write in order to relieve you of unwanted baggage. Most would call it a stress journal. You'll be able to move on after unloading some weight. 83. Always be open to change. University is quite different from high school in many ways. You have to constantly be on your toes and prepared to get out of your comfort zone. Learn new skills and always be a step ahead of others. 84. Accept the things you cannot change. What are these things? A death in the family. Non-acceptance at your dream school. Unless you accept your situation, you'll find it difficult to move on and do your best in other tasks. 85. Avoid the pessimists. We've all had classmates who do nothing but complain. These are people you would need to avoid. Instead, join those who see the bright side of everything, as they will influence your own attitude. 86. Get to know the most important people in school. Introduce yourself to these people: the dean, the librarian, the counselor, and all the other people who may help you in your school life. Volunteer for work if you can, just to be on their good side. 87. Utilize an effective filing system. Your paperwork and school stuff can quickly accumulate during your stay at university. From the very start, think of a filing system to keep your notes, CDs, projects, and reports organized. 88. Keep your work area clutter-free. A messy workspace does nothing to help a mind already laden with information overload. Store away books and magazines that you have no intention of reading in the next 3 months. 89. Spend minimal time on unnecessary activities to focus on your studies. Limit email reading to only 30 minutes a day. If you receive social emails, reply only to urgent matters. Otherwise, flag and deal with it next time. If you don't know the sender, don't even bother opening it. 90. When studying, Turn on your answering machine and don't pick up unless the call is urgent. Social phone calls, especially during crunch time, can eat up a big chunk of your precious study time. Let your answering machine do its job and only reply when your studying is done. 91. Learn to delegate tasks for a group project. If you're a group leader, don't try to do everything yourself, thinking that they can't do it as well as you can. If you're afraid they'll botch up the job, have them encode the final report or do the legwork. 92. Put some order into your computer. Whether you're using a notebook or a desktop, treat it as you would a real filing cabinet. You should be able to know how to access all the files in it in record time, delete or transfer to CDs all outdated files. 93. Post an entire week's schedule on your wall to help you plan your activities. Merely glancing on a daily to-do list limits your planning to 24 hours. On the other hand, having to deal with an entire month can be overwhelming. The best view of things to do is a weekly one. 94. State your goals in a positive tone. When writing goals down, make them personal and state them in a positive format. Don't say, "I must not fail my accounting course." Rather, "I must get at least a B+ in accounting." 95. Shamelessly plug yourself via a website. It's so easy to put up a site these days. If you're a novice, put up a blog. Use it to advertise yourself to your professors, showcase your achievements, and blog about what makes your classes interesting. 96. Keep yourself technologically updated. Don't just jump on the bandwagon, lead it. If you managed with PowerPoint presentations and slideshows in the past, you should now be able to make videos and podcasts. 97. While writing essays and reports, always follow the so what rule. Whenever you write a paragraph, ask yourself, so what? If it doesn't answer the question, it means you rambled on senselessly. Rewrite it in a way that the text can answer the question adequately. 98. When writing an essay, always use an engaging opening and a strong closing. Study the works of the great essayists and observe how their opening statements attract your attention and how closing statements unify the important points of the essay in one strong conclusion. 99. Always proofread your work. Proofreading only takes a few minutes, but failing to proofread can harm you, especially if your teacher is a pedant or is extra meticulous about presentation. Don't always rely on your PC spell checker. 100. Keep a backup of all your important files. Nothing can be as frustrating as losing everything you have worked so hard for in one simple case of a computer crash. Save important files on CDs and label them accordingly. 101. Make your commitments known to others. If you are aiming for honors this year, print a large sign and tape it on your wall for your parents to see. People who love you would only be too happy to help you achieve your goals. I hope these study tips have helped you to gain the marks you truly deserve. Thank you so much for watching these 101 study tips. If you found even one tip helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more content to boost your productivity and grades. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below. Let me know which tip was your favorite or share your own study hacks. I'd love to hear from you. If this video helped you, share it with a friend who's hustling too. Until next time, keep studying smart, not hard. Peace out, and see you in the next video.